Hi everybody. Been a couple of weeks, did some travel, did some hiking, about 100K over 5 days in northern Spain. It was fantastic. Didn't have this with me, but it was a good effort. And now we're back, and right back on track. And that's kind of the topic of today is consistency. And we've talked about it already, or mentioned it, but I had kind of a funny conversation this weekend. Started a little awkward, then it got amusing. That reminded me of this. And I was at a gathering. A young guy came up to me, and his words started awkward. Kind of a thin dude. And by way of introduction, he said, "You know, you're kind of a beefy guy." I said, "Thanks, I think." And then it led into a very predictable line of conversation. He said, "You know, I'd love to bulk up, get bigger. I just can't. I can't seem to put on weight." And I hear that a lot. And if you've ever been on if you've been into fitness, you work out, you run, you lift, you're big, you're thin, whatever it is, if you're good at something, somebody tells you, "Oh, I can never do that. I can never get as big. I can't seem to drop any weight. I can't seem to drop this belly no matter how many crunches I do." That's a particularly funny one. And here's the thing, you can. You absolutely can. And the math is simple. If you want to get bigger, take in more quality fuel than you're burning. If you want to get smaller, burn more quality fuel than you're taking in. And it starts with fuel. Take in quality fuel. Figure out how much you need for your goals based on your activity level. And if your activity level rises and your intake doesn't, you're going to lose weight. If your intake rises above that of your activity level, you're going to gain weight. And the quality of the fuel you're taking in determines what kind of weight you're losing and gaining, or size. And we're not talking about moonshot goals here. People say I could never win Mr. Olympia. Well, maybe you can't. Genetics and a lot of chemical enhancements play into things like that. But if the goal is simple, changing your body composition, the solution is simple. Start with fuel, determine the level, figure out your activity level, make the adjustments on both, and then stick to it. Because here's the thing, it takes consistency. I heard somewhere, and I love this, talking about changing your body. Start today. In 4 weeks, you'll feel it. In 6 weeks, you'll see it. And in 8 weeks, you'll hear it. What that means is that in 4 weeks of consistent effort, you'll feel the change. You'll feel your energy level. You'll feel your strength, your endurance start to change. At about 6 weeks, you'll start to notice changes in the mirror. Clothes starting to fit differently. Looking a little bit different when you step out of the shower. Another 2 weeks after that minimum is when you'll start to hear it from people. "Hey, you've been working out, you've been running, you on a diet, you changed something, you're looking different." That means before you even feel anything, you've got to be consistent for 4 weeks. Minimum. Before you see anything, 6 weeks. Before anybody else notices that you've done anything different, 2 months of consistency. So if it's June and you're trying to get that bikini body ready, you're too late. You have to keep at it. And you have to keep at it knowing the changes are incremental and tiny. But once you start to feel it, you'll start to know you're making some very fundamental changes. You are rewiring and rebuilding from the inside out. And the first thing you're rebuilding or building from scratch is good habits. They're going to serve the foundation of a new superstructure. And when you feel that and acknowledge that, that will be some of the push that helps you to hold discipline on the mornings you don't want to get out of bed and get to it, and apply that consistency. Have a good day. Help somebody else have a good day. And keep going one more step at a time.